The streets are buzzing. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks put the beat down in Beantown, holding the Boston Celtics to just 89 points, their lowest points total on the season. What a debut from GTA 5. Jose Alvarado made his mark, ladies and gentlemen, as the New York Knicks have now 9 of the last 10 wins. Let's break it down and shout you guys out, because I am absolutely buzzing, man. The Knicks got right, and they look great defensively. Mohamed Diawara was knocking down shots as well, man. And we are back, baby. What a debut from Jose Alvarado. We're going to relive these highlights, give out the game ball, and shout you guys out, man. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. That our New York Knicks, man, might have stole the show. And I'm pumped, man. New York Knicks defense is back on the road. Important win, man. Obviously, we got to look at Nikola Vucevic with Boston, but Jalen Brunson will get the game ball. He bounced back in a major way. He was phenomenal, was Jalen Brunson. Welcoming Chris Gotti. D. Dot. Dermot Salute, man. I'm here for Grand Theft Alvarado era, says D. Dot. Absolutely, man. And he stole Tyler Kolek's minutes, but Kolek got to finish in a flurry as well with some big 3 balls. We roll these highlights. The Knicks shot 40% from downtown, and they played with much more speed, much more tempo, purpose, getting good shots, and they played a lot more gritty as well. Karl Anthony Towns wasn't backing down. He was taking it strong too, drawing fouls. And Jaylen Brown was a one-man wrecking crew, but it played into our hands because I felt like Boston just other guys weren't hitting shots, 17% from downtown. Boston were wretched tonight from downtown. And the Knicks had way too many weapons as well. Salute Johnny Chiba. And I feel like, with the extra depth of our Jose Alvarado, obviously without Deuce, taking into account just having that extra body. But what stood out to me with Jose, fam, and let us know what stood out to you first and foremost as we roll all of the highlights. I felt like the speed, here we are picking the pocket, living up to his name, Grand Theft Alvarado, man. Jaylen Brown was shaken, man. He was worried. He heard footsteps, and Jose Alvarado took advantage with the poke and the steal, getting out in transition. But the speed in which Alvarado was able to run the offense as well, get downhill, I like that. He splashed a couple of threes too, and got the floater game going. Little pick and roll with Mitchie. We saw everything, man, in a decent role. Wasn't a huge minutes night, but it wasn't a cameo either. You could tell Mike Brown is definitely intending to get Jose Alvarado into that rotation seriously with heavy minutes. Came in to end the third with 3 minutes left and played most of the fourth quarter, fam, until the game was basically blown out, right? And just to let you know, he can shoot, man. If you step back, right, he'll drain the 3, right? Go under the screen. And Derek White wasn't reading the scouting report on that one, as Jose Alvarado can shoot the 3 ball as well. Chris Gotti says Jaylen Brown knew Jose was there, and Jose still stole it. That was impressive, man. That was so impressive. And Johnny Chiba says Jose played good D. That's what he's known for. Tony, salute from Denver. Great to have you with us. Smash that like button. Replay squad. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Little floater game from Jose Alvarado getting downhill as well. Look, Nikola Vucevic, one of the concerns with potentially picking him up is defensively, right? Not known as a guy that can, slow you down. And Mitchell Robinson was able to slip him too easy there. But Alvarado, credit to him. He's got a quicker first step, low center of gravity because, 5'11", 6 foot. He might be 6'1" at best, but like I said, low center of gravity. He's able to pound that rock quickly, and he's got a really solid handle. He's got a tighter handle than Deuce McBride, obviously. Tyler Kolek looks so much more confident with the basketball, and just having that ball handling, ball pressure on the other side, as we previewed, fam, is going to pay dividends for this squad, man. Now I'm feeling we just got to go out and get Robert Williams if he gets bought out. I think he would be another demon on the defensive side. If he doesn't get bought out, Haywood Highsmith and Matisse Thybulle. Those are my picks, fam. Matisse Thybulle, Haywood Highsmith, or try to get Robert Williams. If you can't get Robert Williams, we'll look at Kevon Looney. We'll talk about that as well. Salute to Darren in the building. Great bounce back. Statement win, man. Let's effing go. New York. Also, really, really impressive situation, right? We know he's lacking size, but he ain't lacking heart, man. He's a dog. And look at Jaylen Brown trying to back him down, and he got the strip to close out the quarter, right? One of our weaknesses is closing out quarters, fam, and I feel like, it's a great, substitution from Mike Brown to get him in towards the end of the quarter to help us close it out with a defensive stop. And Jose Alvarado, man, low center of gravity. Like I said, he can get up all in your gym shorts, fam. And even if you show him any, small part of the ball, he will find it. He got the strip there. I was mega hype when I saw that one. Next on the docket, right? Landry Shamet continues to play well. New York City Gray salute Chancellor in the building. Jose G. 89 points is what I like to see. Shout out. 89 points, is the Boston Celtics season low as well in their building, man. They're going to be reaching for Jason Tatum to come back ASAP because, Vucevic, 25 minutes or whatever he played, wasn't much of an impact. The young guys have made a step up this season. Boston have definitely had a good season relative to expectations, but when the Knicks, a championship level squad, get even deeper, it's trouble for the rest of the league. It's trouble for the rest of the East, fam. And we've got another roster spot or two. We'll talk about it tonight, guys. What are your thoughts on Clarkson? Should we cut him? Huck Porty? Should we do something with that spot? It'd be interesting to see any more big names get bought out, right? Because I think we should go all in. I'm hungry, fam. That beat down to Detroit kind of really put it more into perspective that we can't play around this season, man. We can't play with our food. Great pickup from Alvarado. I feel like it's a cheat code, but we can get better as well. Hart, shout out to Josh Hart. He wasn't hesitant tonight. He was knocking down the 3 ball as well, right? They sagged off and their swag was off. Are the Knicks going to be back in second place? Chris Gotti, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just going to refresh right now. We'll definitely bring that up. We're both tied, 34 and 19. But yes, the Knicks take the sole second position, then. But we are locked on the same record. But the Knicks have the tiebreaker now, which is key. That is really, really big time. Another game holding a team under 100, says Chris. Most definitely, man. That's just a sign of things to come. D. Apoca Knicks. Yep. The Knicks defense looks way more solid. It's amazing what one guy can do, but like I said, he fit like a glove, man. I think Leon Rose, the front office, this is going to be a pickup a la Derrick Rose, a la, Josh Hart at the trade deadline in terms of impact. OG Anunoby as well, when we picked him up and we went on like a 10-game winning streak. I think the front office has done their homework in terms of what, the team needed in terms of data, analytics, point of attack defense, ball handling. I mean, you didn't need to be an Einstein to really figure it out, but it's amazing that they keyed in on that guy that's a specialist in that kind of area, He's just an absolute specialist, too. Here's a great look at this one, too. The Knicks utilizing their sets. This is outlined by the Strickland, posted on X. I thought it was a great observation. And Mikal Bridges slipping the screen to go back door. That was happening a couple of times, and the Knicks were really clever about it. They had that extra spacing because Diawara was hitting threes, and look at all the the defenders. They were all out in an island, fam. They were all out at sea. Some off-ball insight here as well. GTA trying to pick that pocket, fam. Waiting at the corner, waiting for the inbound, and he didn't quite get it. But look at the pressure that he put on. See, it's the little things, guys. The little things, the attention to detail. A lot of the time that would have been a shot, an open shot from the opponent that might have gone down. But Jose Alvarado, the opponent got to think twice. They got to second guess where he's at. Fam, you got to know where he's at all times. We'll pull up the audio as well. We had him mic'd up, which is great. We're going to hear Brunson and Alvarado talk to each other pre-game before they get on the same page. So we will look at that as well, too. Mo Diawara, like I said, played a phenomenal game. No hesitation. Love his stroke. It's looking clean right now. Knicks D turned up when Jose checked in, says Johnny Chiba. He's the opposite of the weakest link. Plug and play, baby. Plug and play. 27-year-old vet, prime of his career, and a perfect time to turn up for his home city. CC says Alvarado and Deuce can work in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that combination, that collaboration. That's going to be nice with Mo Diawara, Shamit, and Mitch. I don't know if I'm missing anyone, fam. Yeah, you take Clarkson, you take Kolek out. Let's say everyone's healthy. Let's talk about it now, guys. If everyone's healthy, I think our bench is going to be Alvarado, Deuce, Shamit, Mo Diawara, and Mitch. Am I missing anyone? Obviously, the starting lineup, Josh Hart's probably going to be in there. Mitch, Diawara, Shamit, Deuce, Alvarado. That's amazing. That's an amazing 10-man rotation. And then obviously you got guys like Clarkson and Shamit, Clarkson and Kolek, and whoever else we might pick up, on the waiver wire. Maybe another big. Yeah, on Mo's play, Johnny Chiba says Mo needs to stay in that rotation for now. 100%. He's earned it, man. It's just amazing when you see a young fella, play, above, up to his expectations, above the expectations, and, play with confidence as well every single game. Elliot Salute says nice bounce back win by the orange and blue. Paul says Mo Diawara locked Brown up in the second half. Defensive player of the game, in my opinion. Yeah, he was phenomenal. He was great. It was eye-opening, man. He's definitely looking so much more confident, Paul. Yeah, he pressed Jaylen Brown, something we haven't really seen too much. Well, what about this? He's got more of a bag as well. Putting Baylor Shireman in the weight room. That's right. They don't teach size. Right. This was rookie on rookie crime right now. And Mo Diawara had the length and the muscle and the little push shot as well. Right. Now he's made such a leap, man, in half a year now, compared to the tape in the French league. He looks so raw, but shout out to Mo, obviously the coaching staff as well. He's worked on the shot, worked on the handles. He's definitely showing us a lot. I'm most pleased with the shot, man. Obviously, I thought we was going to come in with some defense. I thought he was going to come in with some D, but he's showing us a hell of a lot more as well. Look at Landry and Mikal Bridges get down and dirty. Right. This is one of Mikal Bridges' finest dimes, I think, since he's been a Knick. I thought he was gonna get ball, held up for a jump, but he found it. He found Cat under the basket. But yeah, Landry Shamet throwing his body on the line as well. That's what you love to see, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks were committed to getting back right today, and obviously chilling tonight, watching the Super Bowl, right? Boston's focus wasn't quite there, and the Knicks capitalized as well. But yeah, I'm still mesmerized by Alvarado's debut, and the Knicks led wire to wire. Basically, we'll pull up the box score in a minute. But before we move on to the first half highlights, Jalen Brunson will get the game ball in this one. We could give out multiple game balls, but I think they're going to come, man. Diawara, 4-4 from the field, plus 22, team high. Right, he deserves the next best shout out. 2 of 2 from downtown. Mo Diawara was 100% from the field. Right, 10 points. What a spark. 3 rebounds. And Alvarado, a plus 13 with 12 points in Deuce's absence, shooting 5 of 12, 2 of 6 from downtown as well, taking advantage, right, of the momentum, man, the spark coming in. Another 3 ball from Mo Diawara, splash. New York City Gray says, is Mo Diawara improving right before our eyes? Yeah, shout out to the coach as well, confidence, playing the man. Shout out to the front office for drafting Diawara as well. It did have some criticism, that draft pick, in terms of like another French guy, another guy from, EuroLeague, but they took a gamble, but obviously they like what they saw. The scouting report, they got him in for workouts as well. He impressed. His name was buzzing, as we covered, with Rafael Barlow, formerly of NBA Big Board. So, yeah, it was a fine selection, and he's definitely looking ready to contribute right now. Man, that length, the size of locking down Jaylen Brown was big time. Johnny Chiba says, I keep getting impressed by Diawara as well. Yeah, he's showing us something every game. Salute to Buzzer Beater in the building. Great to see you, fam. Hope your weekend has been great. Obviously, with an emphatic victory, our New York Knicks, right, hold Boston to their lowest score, fam. This is grittiness and defense back, right? As we see another Alvarado bucket. This was his first bucket as a New York Knick, man, from GTA 5. Man, if we can add more grit on the perimeter, I'll feel so much more confident, man, of the Knicks going all the way. I think we addressed our major weakness, but I still think we could add, another body or two, and let's go for it, fam. Alvarado would have fit so perfectly with a guy like Dante DiVincenzo as well, another guy that fights through everything. But Landry Shamet is also a great partner. I look forward to seeing him play with Deuce McBride as well. AP shout out says, what? I missed the whole game. What did I miss? Well, you missed a classic beatdown in Beantown. Our New York Knicks, man, got Boston stuck in the mud as well. I'm going for Seattle as well. So let's see if the Patriots can also take a beatdown. Let us know who you're going for today. Is it Seattle or is it the Patriots, right? But Boston's in the mud, the Boston Celtics, because they hate losing to the New York Knicks, man. They hate it. Jaylen Brown really gets up for this one, man. It's definitely got to hurt. Getting stripped by Alvarado, not once, not twice, but thrice. Jose G's insight. The infusion that GTA 5 brings will make other players play harder as well. Great point. Absolutely. TKO came off the bench and hit 2 threes back to back. Is an example. Let's go Knicks. Yeah, it's contagious. I think his low center of gravity is, again, I'm going to keep saying that because he covers ground quickly, Yeah, people say he's undersized and all of that, but yeah, he gets up and down real quick, like a flash. Kind of surprised how quick he was off the dribble as well. Obviously, we know on the perimeter he can lock down, but we haven't had too many point guards that can really, move like him in terms of low center of gravity, get downhill real quick. Trey Burke was quite quick. Lynn Sanity, obviously. Stephon Marbury was great getting downhill. He was a blur. Ray Felton when he was in shape. But obviously, I think GTA, man, is going to be one of the quickest dudes I've seen on the ball. And again, it helps that he's short, but it obviously helps, when he needs to get to his spots as well. And he's clever with the pokes as well. AP says I represent the Jets and Giants. I don't watch the Patriots. Yeah, we salute to that. New York teams all the way. Ricardo, great to see you. Alvarado fits like a glove. Yeah, he's exactly what this team needs, and I think the best is yet to come. He also reminded me that he's got offense as well. Right? He's not just he's not just a defender that's not going to do nothing on offense. He can get downhill, facilitate. He can get the floater game going. He could pull up at a mid range and knock down the open three as well. So, you like to see that. You love to see that, fam. Who else do you want to see us pick up, right? Because for me, when Deuce gets back, well, they're probably going to hold on to Clarkson. I'll say this, right? Unless they feel an urge to get rid of him and cut him, or some bigger name comes available, they're probably going to keep Clarkson. But in theory, if Deuce McBride gets back healthy for the playoffs, I think it's kind of redundant now with Grand Theft, with Tyler Kolek. So, I'm seeing what's out there. See what else is out there. See if you can bring in a bigger name for Clarkson. An upgrade in size. Haywood Highsmith is obviously a name that we can bring in right now because we've got the 15th spot. And that's another reason why this Grand Theft Alvarado move was great. It was really a 2-for-1. Fam, it was a 2-for-1. In fact, where we gave away Yabusele, you bring in Alvarado, and then we can sign the 15th guy right now. So you're basically giving away Yabusele for two guys that are going to, contribute more than Yabusele ever contributed. So, and obviously tonight, man, Alvarado did more than Yabu's done all season, right? And that's not hyperbole, really, in terms of impact on the game. Yeah, Ricardo says Alvarado is what this team has been missing for about 7 years. Facts. Well, I think that the grittiness of the Randall DiVincenzo kind of team, I think, would fit really well with Alvarado. That's why I kind of mentioned DiVincenzo earlier. But we've got Landry Shamet. So, he's another doll. He's tenacious. And of course, Deuce McBride is on his way back. Johnny Chiba also says, it's amazing how Jose seamlessly fits into the team on both ends. The familiarity continuity factor can only improve the team's overall dog. Yep, 110%. I think he's going to improve our transition offense as well. He'll improve our transition defense because, he'll hound you down from behind like a hungry stray dog. And he's definitely, he picks his spots. He knows the weaknesses of the other team. Jaylen Brown got a weak dribble. I've been waiting for someone to pick his dribble, man. And it only took one ball game. Jose Alvarado picked his dribble. Picked his pocket. That was great. And look at the defense collapse on Brunson, right? Again, that's why Brunson got the game ball. He was focused. He was definitely clinical. And he got to the paint. He was aggressive. When Brunson's on, man, he was like shifty. He was much quicker. Obviously had a day's rest. Yeah, Brunson wasn't right in Detroit. But they got right, man, courtesy of the Boston Celtics in this one. Now, some news today, guys. Players officially clear waivers today. Gordon, Dante, Nigel Hayes-Davis, Tyrese Martin, KJ Simpson, Dalen Terry, Cam Thomas, Hunter Tyson, and Chris Youngblood. So that's just today. There's obviously the other buyout guys. Some of them haven't been claimed yet as well. We wait to find out what's up with Matisse Thybulle. Don't think Haywood Highsmith has officially been bought out yet, but that's expected to happen. I've got to check the news. Detroit was supposed to waive somebody today to clear up space for Dennis Jenkins. But yeah, look, I'm glad Alvarado's kind of, making up for the loss of DiVincenzo in a way, not for 3-point shooting, but for defense. But the playmaking, fam, no word of a lie. This is yesterday, posted by B-Ball Index. Number 1 in the league in playmaking talent. Leaders this season among off-ball guards and off-ball wings is the big ragu, Donte DiVincenzo. So people still don't understand how much of a loss that was in terms of playmaking. Donte DiVincenzo was an amazing off-ball playmaker because when Brunson was doing his thing, you had another guy that could do dribble handoff and make plays and and pull gravity with his 3-point shooting. So getting Alvarado is basically like trying to replace what we missed with DiVincenzo as well. And he's going to do his thing, right? Today, man, I'm definitely buzzing. And we're back in the 2nd seed. Efrain Mendez, salute. Says, yes, baby, already love it. Kyle Anderson, yeah, is a good name. 6'8", long wingspan, and he shoots the 3. Yeah, we'll have guys in jail if we can pick up Kyle Anderson. Imagine a Deuce, Alvarado, Muhammad Diawara, Kyle Anderson lineup. OG Anunoby. So I'm down for a Kyle Anderson pickup. I think he's going to get picked up by Minnesota though. But we'll find out. Because I think he wants to link back up with one of his former teams, with Mike Conley. But you never know, man. Leon Rose might have the gift of persuasion. I'm sure he's going to bring in another one of these defensive-minded wing guys or a big man, right? I think we're okay at the guard, man. I think with Kolek, Alvarado, Brunson now, and obviously Clarkson still here. Chris, Dalen Terry got dropped. Looks like Pelicans had no intention of keeping him. Wish the Knicks could have kept him around. I think he would have been a really solid fit, but I think there's some good names out there too, fam. Haywood Highsmith does sound like a former Knick back from the 50s, fam. Definitely a throwback name. I like that, Johnny Chiba. But yeah, look, I might lean big. I feel kind of good with Diawara's emergence, fam. Let us know how you think about Robert Williams. Because Robert Williams, he's got a wingspan from here to Tokyo, fam. He's got a wingspan that's like unbelievable. Him and Mitchell Robinson as options, together with Muhammad Diawara and Alvarado and, wing stop. I think that gives us a lot of, that covers all areas, I think. Whereas we're still a little bit weak in the big man in terms of depth, I think. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, I'm not going to be mad if Highsmith comes over. 6'8", a Spike Lee movie. Facts. AP Minnesota can get those dudes back because they went to a third team. So you can't go back to your former team if it's A to B. But if it's A, B to C, then you can go back to A. Hopefully that makes sense, fam. If you get traded from A to B, you can't go back to A. But if you go from A to B and B moves you to C, then you can go back to A. Gentle. They have some edge to them. Yep. Yeah, defense is effort. You have to want to lock in and focus, you see Detroit, like they're not more talented than us. They just wanted to lock in, and that's the thing what Alvarado is going to bring, man. That's what he gets paid to do. You know, this is a guy who went undrafted, fam, and we got to remember that. This is a guy that'll never rest on his laurels because he knows he went undrafted. And the very reason he's stuck in the league is by playing at 100%. He's only on $4.5 million. So, every day he wakes up, he's not going to forget about, what brought him here. Where some of these overpaid guys, let's call it like it is, some of these guys are overpaid, right? I believe in equity, fair play, and all of that, but some of these salaries are lopsided. Dudes like Alvarado making $4 million, and then you got dudes earning 43. So at the end of the day, I think we brought in a guy who's hungry. We need more of that. Picking up another dude off the waiver wire. I think that guy's going to be hungry as well. Paul, Robert Williams, health is a concern, definitely. I think if he's going to be a depth piece, that's something that could work in our favor, but you definitely got to check the medicals. I think the Knicks and other teams are looking at the medicals of these other teams, especially Lonzo Ball, I heard. Agent Super Argo, great to see you, fam. Hope all is well. Everyone joining us, peace, blessings. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. And Knicks Nation, hit that like button. We're all buzzing with this one. And we just got to get more healthy, right? Think about tonight, man. I don't even realize, obviously, that OG Anunoby wasn't playing, right? Did we really miss OG Anunoby tonight? That's crazy. How many times can we say that, right? Muhammad Diawara looked like OG Anunoby tonight. Let's call it a buck. He was locking down and hitting threes as well, right? So, shout out to Hart and Cat for coming back. They were questionable. OG Anunoby, a smart move to rest up with the toe. Toji Anunoby, they call him. OG Anunoby's resting up on the toe soreness. With just Indiana and Philadelphia to go, and then the All-Star break. What the hell? Sit OG Anunoby for the rest of the way. What do you guys think about that idea? So we got Indiana on Tuesday, Philadelphia on Wednesday. If OG's dealing with a toe injury, just sit him out for the next two, and that will give him 2 full weeks. That'll give him about 2 weeks rest, which is big time. That is big time. Cliff D says, what happened to Jemison? Jemison got some mop-up duty, but Jemison's on the 2-way contract. So most of his time is spent in the G League. But the Knicks can, they can bring him in with the 15th spot. Right now, he's ahead of Huck Porty on my trust chart. But we'll wait to see what the Knicks plan to do. He is an option for a big man. He is an option, definitely. Landry Shamet wasn't, that busy tonight on the offensive end, but he was super productive on defense, fam. 3 assists and a steal as well from Landry Shamet. Johnny Chiba says Time Lord over Huck in an instant. I do want to call this out as well. Agent, great comment. Mikal Bridges, again, not hustling on the loose ball. I think I've come to expect that now, accept that. That's what we get with Mikal Bridges. He doesn't go in for those 50-50s all the time. And, as a trade-off, he's always available. You hope in the playoffs that he can just definitely turn it up. That's all I ask for, is that Mikal Bridges just turn it up in the playoffs. Ed K, salute. So, the Yabusele signing was successful. We wouldn't have gotten Mo without him. He was included as an addition to this signing. That is interesting. Yeah, I've heard that thought before. Obviously, the French connection, for those that don't know, they share the same agent. I'm not sure if we wouldn't have gotten Mo because we could have still drafted Mo, I guess. You know, he was a draft pick. You know, but on the flip side, you could say Yabusele was a successful signing as well for another reason, because we got Alvarado. You know, we had to give up 2 second-round picks, but they weren't the good second-round picks, which is okay. Now, they weren't the Washington, you know, super high second-round picks. They were just the 26, 27, our own second-round picks, I think. So yeah, you know, Yabusele was needed to get Alvarado, and we got it over the line at the end of the day. And let's hit the buyout market now. Let's talk about it. AP says Giannis is watching. Yeah, everyone can watch. Take a seat, get some popcorn. Everyone should be watching right now, the New York Knicks, because yeah, this is our time to shine, right? This is our time to shine. No playing around. I can't wait to get at Detroit, back at New York City, because we play them on February 19, the first game out of the gate after All-Star break. Louis Cypher says, if OG feels better, then play him. Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. OG likes to get at it, acclimate with his new teammate, obviously, and yeah, he wants to win those awards, doesn't he? He wants to win Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not sure on the game's qualification, but don't forget, to qualify for Defensive Player, you know, you got to play, I think, 65. I think you got to play 60, 65. So yeah, I think OG doesn't appear to be too serious. Fam. Yeah, Darren's totally fine. Yep, with that for OG until after All-Star break. Yep. What do y'all think about Clarkson now? Shout out to Yabusele, says AP. Yep. Gentle, yes, I am Australian. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Great to see you here. Yeah, you know, I want to shout out Josh Hart a little bit more because yeah, he bounced back. Josh Hart, you know, definitely played one of his best games on the season. Let me take a look at the stats, the box score. 7 of 14. That was beautiful. 19 points, plus 10, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, only 1 turnover from Josh Hart in a really efficient 26 minutes. So that was awesome to see from J Hart. And we pull up the stats now. Look at that tracker, wire to wire. That was the Knicks in the lead for most of the game. Boston only had a 2-point lead at 1 point. And the New York Knicks shot 40% from downtown and 48% from the field and held Boston to just 37, right? And 17.1%, man. We had them in jail, fam, right? We had them in the Boston prison right now. They call it the Boston Garden. It was the Boston prison right there. We had them in straitjackets there. 17% from downtown. That does not happen very often, man. We know Boston are a heavy shooting team, and 89 points, right? They were looking sorry today, right? In just the debut of Jose Alvarado. Think about how much better it's going to get, in the words of Johnny Chiba, because Jose Alvarado, once he acclimates more with this style, right, and he does more of his trademark, you know, come from behind, you know, get you on the edge of your seat kind of thing, right? How many times has Derek White kill us in transition, or Peyton Pritchard? Right there, even just how Jose Alvarado's presence was enough to slow him down. You see him sort of look back. He was checking his rear view vision was Peyton Pritchard. He was worried about getting had by Grand Theft Alvarado as well. So you love to see that, right? What else you love to see is mic'd up. Now let's hear these guys mic'd up, ladies and gentlemen.
When we get in the games together, where you want the ball mostly, or how you like it? I know you obviously it's whatever, but to make it easier for you.
Most importantly, I want you to play, right?
Yeah.
So you play free, you play smart, whatever you gotta do. You'll see. It's not. You'll see.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of, mixed emotions when I heard the news. Obviously, it was great news, coming back home and stuff. So it was exciting, just being here, just being in the city that I raised that is a dope feeling. And putting the Knicks jersey on, it's pretty surreal for me. So just trying to stay with the moment, you know what I'm saying?
To also go from a team that was struggling to you getting thrown in the middle of a race now, contending team, it got to be exciting for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Obviously, we got to contend. We want to win games, and that's what we're trying to do. And they think I'm a big, I could be part of that, so I'm excited for that. And I just got to be myself, and let's get this, ball rolling more.
Speaking of being yourself, what do you think about the fit, all the guys that you're about to be playing with, and what it is that you bring to the table?
It's cool, I played with obviously Josh Hart when I was a rookie. So, but everybody's so dope. Everybody welcomed me with open arms, and I'm excited. Obviously, I watched them play a lot. Some of the guys I played on different teams. I played against the Knicks. So it's a dope feeling. Everybody is excited, and I'm excited, and I can't wait to just go play with them.
How many phone calls you been getting?
Too many. Too many. But like I said, this is a blessing. I'm from here, and my family never left the city. So just to be in the atmosphere, and I mean, they've been Knicks fans probably since I was before me, and for me to, like I said, to be in a team that's obviously trying to contend for something and me be part of it is pretty special.
Yeah, bud. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have everyone join us, man. We'll continue to roll these clips and shout you guys out, man. Jose Alvarado, man. That was him mic'd up with Brunson, him locker room pre-game. And Jose Alvarado, man, seems to be humbled, seems to be feel blessed to be back in the city that made him and back with the family that were Knicks fans since he was a baby as well. So, man, I'm still a bit overwhelmed watching that one game, but, I want to see more. Pete says, how many steals? He got 2 steals and 1 block. So 3 stocks, fam, in his debut in just 25 minutes, right? So think about that. Think about per 36, right? 3 stocks in 25 minutes is going to be about four plus stocks, man, per 36. So a phenomenal stat line overall. Dink Pate, we do got a situation where Dink Pate played really, really well again last night. And so, yeah, it is a situation where, 1 minute, man. Let me deal with this troll, man. We only keep it respectful up in here, man. If you're disrespectful, you out of here. So yeah, we got a troll up out of here, and with this situation, like Dink Pate's playing really well, 29 points last night, and so again, like I think he looks ready, right? I watched, and I ain't just watching highlights, fam. I watched Westchester play. You can watch them free on YouTube. The games are streamed live, and I did watch Dink Pate last night. 4 of 6 from downtown. He was pulling up from 3 off the dribble, and so, with that situation, Dink Pate looks ready to me, but I defer to these guys because these guys are in the gym every day, and they see these guys, they see them play, practice, work out. So yeah, we'll wait to find out. Would I be shocked if they gave Dink Pate one of the final spots, or maybe cut Clarkson? I probably wouldn't be shocked. I'd be a little surprised, but we'll wait to find out. Clarkson's still getting some minutes, so we'll see what happens. Old B Salute says, "Welcome home, GTA." Damn, yeah, in the nick of time. Now number 6, fam. Number 6, you cannot wear. Obviously, it's been, altered by the NBA, retired league-wide. Bill Russell as well. The legacy, rest in peace, Bill Russell. But yeah, I was gonna suggest that if 6 was available when GTA 6 comes out, would Jose change his number to number 6? But right now he's GTA 5, and you see his speed, his ability to get downhill. There he provided Brunson with the assist, right? Yeah, Dink Pate doesn't want a 2-way contract, so yeah, that is correct, definitely. Shea signature salute. Great to see you. Louis Cipher says Clarkson would be valuable into the playoffs. Yeah, he would be situational, but defensively, it's night and day compared to Alvarado and Diawara. And I would probably prefer to play Kolek ahead of Clarkson. He's just so erratic. But he does have a particular skill set, which is pulling up off the dribble, shot creation. But yeah, he is getting older, and he does look like he's becoming less and less productive with these minutes. Yeah, same deal with Mark's comment. What happened to Clarkson? He's 33, going on 34. So what do they say? Father Time is undefeated. We've got some young legs now with Jose and Muhammad Diawara. Again, another 3-ball from Jose in this one. They sag off, they go under the screen. He won't hesitate. So, it's basically like having Deuce McBride out there tonight with better defense. I don't think it's disrespectful to Deuce to say that Alvarado provides better defense, because he's a specialist, right? He's a specialist, on that end. Deuce McBride's a way better offensive player. But yeah, I think Alvarado really fit in well today, man, given his debut. It was special. D. Grant says, I would love to see Dink Pate, right? Get rid of Clark Kent. And Johnny Chiba says, CT, what's more important to Dink? Play college ball with inferior guys, hopefully get drafted high by a bad team to earn money in the future, or forego college and take a spot on a chip-bound team? What's more important to Dink? I think only Dink can answer that. But from my perspective, man, I want him on the Knicks. So selfishly, I'm looking at it like, yeah, if he can play right now, and like I said, I watched some games, and I watched last night. Dink Pate looked great. Take my word for it. But if you don't, I'm going to roll these clips, because I've got all these clips in my arsenal. Right, here we go. Last night, Dink Pate pulling up, no hesitation. Look at his size and handle. But his 3-point shooting has come a long way, right? And his facilitating as well was special. So he had 29 points, right, and 8 assists. And his connection with Bryson Warren as well, another, guard in the G League, an attacking, offensive-minded player, Bryson Warren, and Dink Pate were linking up in that one. Next up, Dink Pate from the corner as well. It's raining threes in the G. Mark says, with Jose here, who's going to lose playing time now? I would say Kolek first and foremost. Clarkson might see a little bit of time situationally, but Clarkson's going to miss minutes as well, or lose minutes. So yeah, those two, fam. So yeah, for those that missed it, expect, if everyone's healthy, expect our playoff rotation to be the starters with Josh Hart, obviously. Karl Anthony Towns, OG, Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Brunson. And our bench, our 10-man rotation, assuming he plays 10, it would be Alvarado, Deuce, Shamet, Muhammad Diawara, and Mitch. In my opinion, that's the 10-man, right? Kolek and Clarkson can be situational, but if we pick someone else up, who knows? Because when we talk about picking someone up off the waiver wire, you have to promise them a role, most of the time. Otherwise, they ain't going to come. So, but with Mo D playing the kind of D he's playing, I mean, he's just playing special right now. Is Mohamed Diawara. Again, those that missed it, 4 of 4, 100% from the field, 2 of 2 from downtown, team high plus 22, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from Mohamed Diawara, the rookie. Right? Phenomenal stat line on the road against Boston with a team high plus 22. And let's check in to see who got defensive player of the game, right? And on that note, man, perfect timing. It is the young rook, Mohamed Diawara, gets the defensive player of the game, right? Let's pull it up right now. Shout out to everyone in the building. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new, right? We keep it buzzing. There we see Grand Theft Alvarado, man. He's looking at this saying, yep, I fancy my chances of getting one of those, right? But Mohamed Diawara, right, takes the defensive player of the game in this one, right? He was phenomenal, locking down Jaylen Brown as well. And like Paul said earlier, he said Diawara earned defensive player, and that is correct. Simon says, we have enough offense. Maybe Kevin Mack should replace JC. Yeah, that's a good point as well. We could convert one of the two ways. We could convert Jemison or Kevin Mack if we do cut Clarkson. Again, I'll be a little surprised if they cut Clarkson, but I won't be shocked. It just depends on, again, talent, who else is out there. There is going to be a situation where, McCullough can only play so many games on the two-way. If they really like McCullough, which does look like they're quite high on McCullough, he can only play, 45, 50 games, and won't be playoff eligible. So that's something really key to note. Also, another thing really key to note, guys, is our newly repaired relationship with Clutch Sports and Rich Paul, right? What happened when those guys, Men Fences and Leon Rose and Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, came together? We ended up getting Jordan Clarkson, right? So it could go either way. If we want to do Clarkson a favor, we could cut him if he wants to go somewhere else, and that'll keep that relationship solid. If Clarkson's sticks around and he wants to stick around, that'll help that relationship as well. But if Clarkson wants to, see an opportunity somewhere else, we might have to do what's best for both parties with that one. But yeah, I would love to get Dink Pate, man. I'm sold. Consider me sold on Dink Pate because I've watched a ton of film right now. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be in the playoff rotation if he got called up, but he can help. He could help. He could definitely be a guy that you could play during the regular season from what I see in the G League. Again, large sample. He's shooting the 3 ball at a high level and racking up assists and playmaking as well. Yeah, Slow Runner agrees. Dink Pate's shot looks great. He's perfect for the Knicks, a tall shooting guard who can facilitate as well as bring the ball up. Yeah, 6'8". He looks like a solid athlete as well, and he can get up and down. Exactly what we need against teams like Detroit, with the ball pressure. Just another athlete that can get up and down. Now, Ricardo says, I'm not cutting Clarkson. So, yeah, you want to see Clarkson stick around, which is fair enough. Yeah, old 28B says, good to see Diawara put in that work. Yeah, great scouting because he slipped. He slipped under the cracks and we picked him up, man. He was on our radar as well. Shout out to the international scouting because, look, to have a pick late in the 50s, it's one thing to get a player in the future, like second year, third year, and maybe they end up contributing. But plucking a player out of the late second round from France and he's in your rotation from the beginning, first year, and he's 20 years old, I mean, that is close to a home run if I've ever seen it. But that's best case scenario, fam. I mean, the only thing that you're going to get better at, which hardly ever happens, is plucking a Nikola Jokic, a generational player, out of the second round. That's arguably the next best thing, which is something that, like I said, rarely ever happens, But yet we're buzzing today. Diawara will be scary in a couple of years, says Eddie. Yeah, today was really, really eye-opening, man. Locking down Jaylen Brown or putting pressure on Jaylen Brown and forcing, a lot of tough looks. For a guy who's a neophyte, it's just great to see us, again, hit on that pick. Paul, great question. Can Dink defend on an NBA level? I think, yeah, he has it in him. He's a solid athlete. Good size, good wingspan as well. So I think off ball, be a solid defensive player. On ball, haven't obviously had that ability to see him on that NBA level. But yeah, I would definitely use the 15th spot on him, and potentially cut Clarkson and open up another spot as well. You guys let me know if I'm harsh, but I would really seriously consider cutting Hukporti. Not because I don't believe in Hukporti for the future, but he's someone who he's not game changing. You could pick him up in the future later down the track. Don't even know if another team's going to pick him up instantly. And if you miss out on him, then so be it. But right now we're trying to go for a chip, and if we can backload this roster with the top talent we have and add more veteran depth towards the end of the bench, I mean, we're fully equipped, man, to take down Detroit. We're fully locked in. Get me Robert Williams, Haywood Highsmith, and Kyle Anderson, or someone like that, and then you don't got to put too much pressure on Mohamed Diawara. We don't know what he's going to look like in the playoffs. We're optimistic, but if you can take that, take the chance now to add some more veteran help, I think that's the way to go. And get even more gritty, more size and defense. But yeah, I'm all in on the Alvarado pickup, man. I mean, this thing's been a home run from the get-go. Trading out Yabu. Yeah, Marvin Bagley. Yeah, sign me up. I'll be down for Marvin Bagley as well. Wouldn't be my first option for the big man spot. But yeah, one of those names that I think could be productive as a third string. Interestingly, we've got to talk about it tonight, guys. We had Joe Mazzulla go to the hacker Mitch again. Right, this guy cannot let it go, fam. It's in his head now, right? Talking about getting into Mitch's head, I think it's in Joe Mazzulla's head right now because he devastated Boston in the playoffs, and Joe Mazzulla's like, I can't deal with this, man. He's a game changer. Get him out. He was giving him fits. Again, was Mitchie as well. And to Mitch's credit, he shot 3 of 8 from the free throw line, which isn't great, but he's had worse. Again, it's not good at all. 3 of 8, 37%. But he started to hit a couple late, which did deter Joe Mazzulla from continuing with the hacker Mitch. Brunson only got to the line 3 times, which is crazy, fam. Like, this was a physical game, and I think the refs were bad. But obviously, we didn't need any help, right? We were dominant. But yeah, Brunson should have got to the line way more than 3 times. JB was frustrated in this one. He was getting hand-checked, especially from downtown, the one in the corner, too. Now, in the spotlight segment, yeah, going to continue with the Mo Diawara hype. Landry Shamet. two valuable rotation pieces to make way for Clarkson and Kolek right now. But look, if Kolek and Clarkson stay situational, I think as the 11th and 12th men, I don't think that's a bad situation to be in, because I think that's a talent upgrade over last season's 11th and 12th men. As you see, Kolek came in the final minutes and lit it up, right? No hezzy. That's what you love to see with Kolek right now. The confidence, gets to his spot, can get downhill. If this season, let's say Kolek was to not be in the rotation at all for the rest of the season, I still think this is a successful season for Tyler Kolek. Like, I don't think it's a knock on him and his future in the league. If Kolek was to just not be in the rotation again for whatever reason from depth, I still think Kolek's made a solid, amount of steps and leaps from his first season to the second season, and then we take our chances next season. He's under contract, cheap contract. Alvarado's still here. We're going to find out what happens with the option with Jose. But again, a guy we picked up in the second round. New York City Grey says, I think Dink can do it all. I do not see much weakness in his game. He just raw and unpolished. Yeah, this is a guy who was touted as lottery talent, and I'm watching him last night, and I'm like, yep, he's got it. He's got it. You just see it. He's a fluid athlete at his size with ball handling skills, but now he's just rising up off the dribble and knocking down three balls, and he's facilitating as well. So yeah, Johnny Chiba says, out of all the current players on the team, who's the 10-man rotation, playoff rotation subject to change? Johnny Chiba, my playoff rotation would be the starters with Hart. That's what I think is going to continue to happen. I would still seriously consider putting Deuce McBride in there, but for now we're just going to say it's Josh Hart with Cat. And then the 5-man unit off the bench would be Alvarado, Deuce, Shamit, Diawara, Mitch. That's my 5 men off the bench, fam. Alvarado, Deuce, Shamit, Diawara, and Mitch. That's a great defensive lineup and a great 5-man bench unit, I think. And Colette Clarkson can sit out, but I think we're going to pick someone else up. I really do. D. Grant says, CT, with Huck. I agree with you getting rid of Huck and Clarkson. They are both not cutting it. Yeah, it could be a simple case of Clarkson giving him an opportunity to see what else is out there. He could probably help a Miami, a team with lesser talent than us, and that's no disrespect to other teams or Clarkson. I think he could seriously be a 7th or 8th man on a team with less talent. I just think he's we don't need him right now. He's redundant. But he could still be situational if he wants to stick around. Yeah, my thing is with Huck. Thing is, the reason to hold on to Huck is that you've seen enough that he's going to be something in the future. But I'm doubting whether we've seen enough. So that's like, you know what I mean? I'm doubting whether or not we've seen enough from Huck. Is Dink paid a dog? What great player's game could his skill set and ceiling approach? Another great question from Johnny Chiba. He's young. I think, he ain't quite a dog yet. But yeah, he's silky smooth. I think he looks similar to a shade on Sharp. I think that's a good archetype. A guy who's in the league, a guy who's making leaps, taking steps. I could see him as an Aaron Neesmith, Benedict Mathurin. Look to those dudes. So yeah, shout out to Clarkson. He's just tweeted this out. GTA 5. So Jordan Clarkson, the vibes are good right now. Clarkson bigging up his newest teammate as well. So you love to see that. Josh Hart tweets out as well. Jose. And Steph Bondi says, Knicks playing Bad Bunny in the locker room after beating the Celtics. So the vibes are good. Quotes from Jose. It felt like home. So you love to see that. Jose Alvarado says it felt like home. Right. So you got Clarkson bigging him up. You got Josh Hart feeling good. And yeah, let's not take the shine off Mo Diawara's performance. Let's roll all of Diawara's highlights right here. So for those that missed it, this is all Diawara highlights. Yeah, Eddie agrees. Remove Clarkson and Huck. Look, it just depends how much of the chemistry in that locker room that they want to move with. You know, I can understand that there's an argument for adding more depth, but then there's an argument for adding like too much in terms of like, is everyone going to be able to play? You know, like I'm fine with us being 11 deep, you know, 10, 11, 12 deep. But there's going to be a couple of guys on the end of the bench that are just going to be there for good looks, because not everyone's going to be able to play. Ephraim says, I love Diawara's game. And Louis Cypher says, Highsmith's is damaged goods. Yeah, he's had a little turbulent stop-start sort of situation, but I think there's talent there. But yeah, I like Kyle Anderson, Matisse Thybulle, and looking at a big man. But yeah, what a lefty finish from Diawara, man. He's showing us more and more. The biggest step forward, I didn't think he'd be this good of a three-point shooter, man, in his second year, let alone first year. I think that's just been remarkable. Like, I mean, no hesitation. Shout out to Peter Patton, who's the New York Knicks shooting coach. He has improved Josh Hart's shooting this season, and he has improved Mohamed Diawara from, you know, the unknown archives from the French Film League, and etc. But you know, if Diawara was splashing this in France or whatever, he wouldn't have gone 50, 56 in the draft, man. He would have been snapped up by the San Antonio Spurs probably in the 30s or whatever else team. You know, it's crazy right now. He's shooting Deuce McBride level numbers in terms of percentage. I mean, if this guy is real 3-and-D, well, I shudder to think he's a free agent right now, man. This guy might be really playing his way into God knows what kind of salary for next season, man. Let's talk about that. Right. At this point, guys, Mohamed Diawara is a free agent because we're only able to give him a 1-year deal. Now, I might be getting ahead of myself, but if he continues like this, he's going to get a real offer from a team. Make no mistake about it. There ain't fools in the front offices of the other NBA teams. Now, fortunately, by ditching Yabu and getting $22 million under the second apron for next season, we do have a little bit of money that we can splash around. They've got to decide what to do with Mitch. Obviously, Deuce has got 1 more year, though, but he's extension eligible in the summer. So we can come to an agreement with Deuce as well. And then there's Diawara. So you've got to try to take care of at least 2 or 3 of those guys. Because, yeah, Diawara is a lockstep rotation guy, I think, for the now. Yeah, Dink would ride the bench mostly for now, so he probably wants to continue playing in the G. Yeah, Alvarado pickup has added the ball handling that we need. But even Diawara has been able to make some plays. So I think a good comparison, man. So you look at this film, you look at Baylor Shireman. He was a projected first-round talent. I think he slipped to the second round. Baylor Shireman, you see on Boston. Mohamed Diawara, I mean, he looks like a guy who should have been selected ahead of him. You know? Yeah, Ricardo says, I'm worried about losing Diawara. I'm not worried about it right now. I'm sort of worried about it maybe if this continues, because, yeah, there will be some teams look at him, you know, with a real offer, I think. Think of Charlotte. By the way, Charlotte Hornets, fam, they're the hottest team in the league right now, 9 in a row. Imagine if they get another young talent like a Diawara or whoever. So these teams are coming, man. The Knicks need to win it right now. The Knicks need to get it done. Dink is an athlete, New York City says. Sign Diawara now before he shows too much and walks. Yeah, that's why we might be keeping Dardier around, fam. I thought about that the other day. I'm like, Leon might be playing 5D chess, right? Because we already shipped out one of his veterans, his buddy, Yabu. We don't want to maybe ship out Dardier, because then Diawara's, lost all his countrymen. So Dardier just could be his buddy. And we get him on a discount. But yeah, we did do Yabu a solid as well, I think, by getting him somewhere else. Yeah, best believe Diawara can't go anywhere. We drafted him. He needs to stick. He needs to stick, but I think he's going to want to stick around. We're a championship contender. We drafted him. He has a bright future here. You got all the selling points you need for Diawara, right? Yeah, he's got to feel blessed that we gave him a chance. We took him from the French league. He would have gone undrafted otherwise, and we're giving him rotation minutes. I don't think a player can turn their back on that, after just 1 year. Now, it'll take a balloon payment, kind of like Linsanity, where, they just offered Linsanity 20 million, and we're like, we're not going to match that. But I don't see that happening in this case, obviously. But I'm not saying the Knicks can't keep Diawara or whatever, but it's going to cost us. It's going to cost us now more than the minimum. I think the way he's playing, he's outplaying that, definitely. The young Sin says Diawara could be Bridges' replacement, can do everything Macau does for 100 milli cheaper as well. I think the sky's the limit. We'll find out in the future. I think Bridges might be gone in the Giannis deal, fam. I think Bridges might be gone in the Giannis trade to Portland. We'll see what happens with that. We might not even need Giannis, to be quite frank. We might not even need Giannis the way we're looking right now. Get us a couple wings, couple of young wings in Diawara, another dog in Jose. Get Deuce McBride healthy. Mitch stays healthy. Maybe sign another free agent in the summer. We draft a dude as well. We have our first round pick. We're going to be deep. We're going to be deep next season. The East is going to be tougher, no doubt. But I think even next year, we're going to be a lot better, assuming Alvarado sticks around. Even if Alvarado declines his option, I think the Knicks will come to an agreement and find a role for him next season as well. I don't think this Alvarado thing was just a one and done. I think they definitely want to keep him around. Yeah, Paul agrees Bridges will be gone in the Giannis deal, depending on what teams really, kick up a fuss about. But I do think if it's push comes to shove, they want to keep OG. Like, I think they would prefer to keep OG over Bridges, but it also helps that Portland like Bridges as well. So, yeah, that could be a major factor as well, fam. But yeah, my guy just hit me up about draft film, so I'm going to start to dive into the college tape. Shout out to anyone that's watching college hoops right now. College season is, it's going to be amazing this season, because the draft is really, really deep, and the Knicks have a first round pick. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. The Knicks might end up taking a player that Milwaukee want, and that becomes a part of the Giannis deal. Right now, I think it's 50-50, right? It just depends on what happens in the playoffs, right? We get to the finals or we win the chip. I don't think we break it up. If we fall short, I think we go hell for leather and try to get Giannis. But yeah, we do have our first round pick. We'll have the 31st pick, which is the Washington one, 2 seconds. And yeah, there's a lot of talent in college. There is a lot of talent. If they find a dude like Diawara in the second round, then I'm really going to be watching film on some of these first round guys. But the fact that Diawara was stashed away, out of plain sight, that probably helped us. if Diawara played college, there ain't no way he's going, pick 56 as well. Ricardo says Deuce is injury prone. Yep, see a few people down on Deuce's durability. Look, you keep Deuce for the final year of his contract. I think at bare minimum, you're only paying him peanuts. The guy's so productive. After that, if you decide to not pay him because of the salaries and you got other dudes, I get it. Maybe you draft Deuce's replacement, but I think there's no reason to move off of Deuce next season until you have to, until a free agency comes up. But that said, Milwaukee might want Deuce. Milwaukee might want Deuce and Cat as part of that deal. So yeah, we got a first round pick AP this upcoming draft, and we do have the second round. We got 2 seconds in this upcoming draft, and we have the first round pick as well. Now, just to clarify, we can't trade this year's pick before the draft, but we can draft a player and then trade that player. If you get what I mean, we could draft the player and then trade that player, but we can't actually trade the pick. So basically, if we do the deal for Giannis, they'll basically just tell us what player they want us to draft. I think that's how it's going to play out. Yeah, look, I've got concerns about OG's durability as well. So I think it's a trade-off, right? Mikal Bridges is always available, but he does frustrate you. He frustrates you. He's not the player OG Anunoby is. He's more of a complementary piece. He's not going to do the heavy lifting or the grunt work. And the way this team is constructed with Brunson and Cat as finesse players, we need more of the grunt work. So OG is a better fit than Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is another feathery, soft kind of complementary player. And we have Brunson and Cat. So I don't think that's a great fit. Now, ideally, I would swap Bridges out in a Giannis trade because I think Giannis kind of makes Mikal redundant. And then Mohamed Diawara could be ready to step up. But we'll see what plays out. With that, there's a lot of water under the bridge to go as well, right? Josh Hart, next season will be his final season before a team option as well. I got a feeling they'll come to a longer term agreement with Josh Hart at a lower number, and they'll use some of that money to either keep Deuce or pay Diawara or somebody else. So that's what I think is going to happen, guys. So Hart's under contract next season, and then he's got a team option, which I think the Knicks could decline. But because Josh Hart will be 32, we could say, hey, Josh, we're going to give you longer term security and we'll give you a longer contract, but we'll lower the number. And in your older age, we're going to take care of you and give you longer deal, but less money per year. And we'll keep this core together. We'll keep it rolling. We'll keep competing for chips. And we could use some of that money to keep Deuce McBride. If we do move off from Mikal and Cat and bring in Giannis, we are going to save salary as well. That's going to take a lot of money off the books too. So yeah, the Dalen Terry trade, we gave up our 26 and 27 second round pick, fam. One of the seconds that another team owed us, so it's not going to be the Washington one. We will be able to keep that Washington one and draft at the 31st slot as well. So that's going to be big time as well. That is going to be big time, right? We could potentially have the 25th, 24th pick. Let's say we finish third in the East or second in the East and fifth overall in the NBA. We're going to be picking at pick 25, 26, and we'll get the 31st pick as well. The Tassie Salute says, great game by all with OG and awesome stat from GTA. Definitely, look, OG resting up, but Diawara stepping up big time, man. Buzzer Beater says feathery soft. Look, finesse, man. you do need a bit of finesse. I just think the Knicks have got enough of that. You need a mix. You need a healthy mix of, I think Brunson and Cat are our offensive gunners. They're our finesse players. Everyone not named those guys should be hound dogs. If you want to win in this modern NBA, you can't afford to have too many, soft guys on defense. Now, I don't really think Brunson or Cat deserve to be called soft, but you know what I mean. They're the weak link. They're the weak links defensively. Like Brunson takes charges, Cat will, take shots to the face. Those guys will still, give you activity, but they are the weak link. They're the weak links defensively, and Mikal Bridges, isn't built that way. He's not built to be a lockdown defender. He's more like pick you off, passing lanes, get in your face, kind of be a distraction, but he's not really like a get up in you, in your grill. Exactly like New York City says here, 100%. Mikal is a good team defender, just not good individual on the ball or in the post as well. Yep, you said it, man. That's the best way, I think, to phrase it. And I just also think on a team the way we are built, we need more heavy lifting. We need more grunt work. And that's why Grand Theft Alvarado is here to get busy, right? And get his hands dirty because, what did Bill Daughtry tell us at the beginning of last season, man? He said, with Josh Hart, we've got a guy that does dirty work. OG's more of a technician. Mikal Bridges is not going to do dirty work. So we need a little bit more like Josh Hart. Jose Alvarado is going to bring exactly what Josh Hart provides, high motor, non-stop energy on both sides. Mohamed Diawara is looking like he's another dude. And you can add Deuce McBride, to the mix. Also, I'm going to say it. I believe Mikal Bridges, Iron Man streak, the fact that he plays every game, I think it hurts his ability to play at a higher intensity. I think he needs to be smart, take a few games off. This Iron Man streak, it's good for him, but it ain't always great for us because, if he's feeling hurt, tired, banged up, we might not be getting the best version of Mikal. That's something to consider as well. What do you guys think about that? Yes, you love the durability, but I'm just saying, maybe you don't need to play every game. It really doesn't matter to a team like us. I would rather get the best version of Mikal Bridges, who's rested, and not banged up. I mean, he's got to be feeling banged up. The guy hasn't missed a game in like almost a decade. He's got to be feeling like an old man in a way, and he's only 29. Right? If you're playing every single game, it's not a surprise that he doesn't go in those 50-50 balls because he's probably already nursing a contusion or something. God knows what else, Yes, I was thinking this the other night. D. Grant, Knicks need to pay attention to the Cavs. They're starting to pick it up. So yeah, on that note, let's pull this up because the Cavaliers, if we lost today, the Cavaliers would have pulled just, they would have pulled within, a game. So that is a great point. Definitely a great point. Thankfully, we pulled out the win and we have the 2-game separation now, right? Unfortunately, we played Detroit only once more and we did take the loss the other day. We are 5 games back of Detroit. So, look, at least we got separation from the top 4. If we'd fallen out of the top 4, that would have been disaster. So, the Raptors are still hanging around, but the Sixers as well. The Magic and the Heat didn't do enough at the trade deadline, in my opinion, fam. My biggest losers at the trade deadline was the Houston Rockets. They didn't do enough. The Miami Heat, Orlando, and San Antonio. And I don't even think Philadelphia did too much, but I think Philly's got enough depth. They moved out from Jared McCain to clear a little bit of that log jam. But I think Magic, I don't know what they're doing, man. They're underachieving. How can you do nothing at the trade deadline? Miami Heat, as well. They were keeping their powder dry for Giannis, wishing upon a star that Giannis is going to go to the Heat. Now the Knicks are in play because Giannis is going to come into the summer now, and the Knicks can upgrade their offer now. The Knicks can offer the picks come summertime that the Milwaukee Bucks, are looking for. So, the Knicks' position has got even more. The Knicks have got even more leverage now. So the Heat didn't do enough at the trade deadline. I think they hurt Khalil Ware's trade value as well, because Khalil Ware has been, getting benched recently as well. So the Bucks were never taking that deal. They were never going to trade with the Golden State Warriors, who can offer them Jimmy Butler's torn ACL and Jonathan Kuminga. So I think the Raptors might try for Giannis. Let's see what happens. The Cavaliers made their splash with James Harden. I think the Cavaliers could surpass Boston. I think, they kind of got clowned a little bit, but Donovan Mitchell with James Harden, that can scare you a little bit if those guys can get hot. Boston, Nikola Vucevic, basically that was their business. Don't know how much that's going to improve. Obviously, Jason Tatum is the biggest improvement in that front, fam. So yeah, we come up against Indiana and Philly next, right? We could make this 11 out of 12, right? The Knicks have won 9 out of their last 10. We beat Indiana, we beat Philly, and we'll be on 11 out of 12, fam. Now, super chat from AP 1586, keeping us buzzing. AP says Alvarado reminds me of Tony Campbell for the Derek Harper trade. Steals the ball like him and got him when really needed him. Good trade as well. Great to see you hyped about it, man. I love to see it because I know you've been skeptical, and it's great to see that, he fits like a glove, ball pressure. Look, Pritchard's been a Nick killer. Derek White been a Nick killer. Those guys were redundant tonight. Well, not redundant. Those guys were invisible, basically. We can pick up Time Lord or, Hayward Highsmith or someone else like that. Man, we've got depth. We've got the depth we need to go all the way. We just need Deuce McBride to come back healthy. Think of our point of attack defense, AP, with Deuce McBride and Alvarado together. Deuce McBride, Alvarado, Landry Shamet, Muhammad Diawara, and Mitchell Robinson. That's our bench lineup. Now, coincidentally, that's our best defensive potential lineup as well. You want to talk about OG or Hart? I get it. But let's think about that for a second, man. Our 5-man bench lineup could be our best defensive lineup on the whole team. Alvarado, Deuce, Shamet, Diawara, and Mitch. Everyone can switch. Everyone can fight through screens. Length, physicality, tenacity, all of those things now, man. We finally might be getting our identity back, as well as the offense as well, fam. You know what I mean? I know everyone been crying out for the Dante, the Randall, that identity with Isaiah, and, we lost that identity, the toughness and all of that. All it takes is, 1 or 2 more guys to replace what we lost, and we might have ourselves an amazing 2-way team. You got Cat in there and Brunson for offense, substitute for defense. You got stoppers, you got McCullough as well if you want to play him a little bit. Obviously, we've got the options now. We've got a coach that's willing to play them as well. But yeah, I love Derek Harper, fam. Shout out to that throwback as well. AP says Harper always used to steal that ball. Yeah, he was a pickpocketer, fam. He was, defensively stout, could get in, in the guard position and hold you up. That's what we need, ball pressure. Yeah, DeYoung, I agree. Magic got to move on from Paolo. I think they might try to move him in a Giannis deal. Let's see. because yeah, I think they function better without him. And he's still a super talent, right? He's still got a lot of trade value, but you don't want to wait too long for his trade value to drop. Like what's Memphis doing, man? If they traded Jaren Jackson Jr. fam or Ja Morant 2 or 3 years ago, they would have got a king's ransom, right? Before the injuries and the lack of progression, hit. If they had moved on from Jaren Jackson or Ja Morant, they would have got a king's ransom. So I think if the Magic stall with Paolo, you just never know what's going to happen with that, fam. Your window can open and then it can close real quick. Johnny Chiba says Jared McCann got a huge ovation as soon as he got off the bench. The rich get richer. Success recognizes. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what happens out in OKC. I thought the Spurs could have done more. They wanted to keep a hold of Jeremy Sohan. So we'll see, Wembanyama is just going to have to be the difference, and he's going to have to step it up. Just like I said the other night, Cat, you saw a much better game. Since Cat has really stepped his play up, no coincidence that we've gone on that run. 9 out of 10 wins now. Cat started to play better. Now, Cat ain't even at it. I don't even think Cat's playing at 80% of his maximum capability. So if we want to beat Detroit, I think Cat is going to be a guy that has to be the difference. He has to start cooking, because they are going to key in on Brunson. J Dub says we need to step up our future in Mo Diawara. We need to set up our future in Mo Diawara and Dink Pate and Pacome Dardier, good size and athleticism. Yeah, agree with Mo and Dink Pate, but Pacome Dardier, haven't seen enough yet. But I'm patient with him. Every championship team has a couple of players that are out there, cooking and simmering, and they need to hopefully get better for us to keep him around. No GTA is a way better defender than Pablo. Buzzer beater for life now. Buzzer beater for life. I like that. Update. I see you. No GTA is a way better defender than Pablo. Look, he prides himself on that end. That's what got him into the league, and he knows why the Knicks, brought him in, fam. What a debut. Let's continue to roll these clips. I think Cat wants to be featured a lot more on offense. I think that's where his defensive engagement really, comes into it. Because look, let's be honest, Cat doesn't touch the ball as much on offense as he would on other teams, or you could argue should. That's just the way the team's built. We've got a lot of weapons, You're paying Mikal Bridges $35 million, so you've got to give him touches. Brunson's he's the maestro. So he's got the ball a lot. So yeah, we've got to find ways to get Cat the ball in better positions. But I do think Cat wants the ball more, and that's fair enough because he's coming from a team where he was the second option next to Ant-Man. But Brunson holds on to the ball more than Ant-Man. So Cat just has to recognize what's at stake. Like Cat could go down as a Hall of Famer, and a legend. Well, he most likely will go in the Hall of Fame, but he'll be surefire Hall of Fame if he wins the chip with the Knicks, in his second season. He'll be surefire Hall of Fame. Make no mistake about it. Right, so at the end of the day, when you win that chip, who really cares how many touches you had and all of that? You got paid already. I get it. Cat's looking for that extension. Yeah, New York City says Cat will be the difference against Detroit. Right now, they just don't have the size to match up well against him. I definitely appreciate Cat's rebounding. Like today, I was watching it and I'm like, man, Cat's a demon on the glass. 10 rebounds again, 29 minutes. Like, this guy inhales rebounds. Like, it's quite special to watch. Like, we always think of Cat as an offensive player, and that's what he'll be known as. But he's a special rebounder. Like, he's not the offensive rebounder that Mitch is with his size and length, but the way Cat just inhales a defensive rebound, like the way he just grabs it, is tough, man. It's tough. He's an excellent defensive rebounder, and so I think that's one of his best skills, you know. But yeah, Cat just has to be dominant with his positioning, his size, his discipline. Yeah, I think the refs are in his head. You know, unfortunate. It just seems like he can't let it go. I know he's getting a bad whistle, but I think that's part of the problem. You know, they're not going to give him whistle if he keeps arguing. And I think these refs, they are petty. You know, they are going to keep it. They are going to keep it personal with these referees. So yeah, it is going to be an incredible postseason, Ricardo. So I do think, yeah, you know, strap yourself in, buckle up. Indiana, Philly coming up, All-Star break, more Jose Alvarado, more streets are buzzing, more New York Knicks dubs. Let's go, fam. Let's get it. Really looking forward to Indiana back at MSG, right? It'll be Jose Alvarado's MSG debut on Tuesday, 7:30 tip, and then back in Philadelphia. Again, we've played Philly already in Philly. We'll get to see them again, right? Let's see what happens with these rotations, right? But thanks for Mike Brown for spreading the wealth, right? Getting some of these young guys in the ball game late. And I like the minutes distribution with Jose Alvarado. 25 minutes in his debut. So this guy wasn't just brought in, man, to just, you know, be a part of the furniture. He was brought in to get busy, right? And Jose Alvarado, I think he's going to play more minutes for the end of the season because Deuce McBride is going to be out. And excellent pickup, and it paid off, man. 1 for 1. Let's keep the streak rolling with Jose Alvarado, and we'll keep the streets buzzing, fam. Bless up to everyone in the building, and let's see what happens in this Super Bowl. Shout out to AP for the super chat contribution. Alvarado, reminding him of Tony Campbell for Derek Harper. Right, let's see this trade pan out. Steals the ball. We got what we really need to. And Diawara continues to be a winner, and he continues to grow. That young stud from the second round. Let's get it on the next one, everyone. Peace.